Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's Fox2 and I have a very interesting video today. That is because I am going to be speaking about some things that I think would be very important for Gaijin to add into the game before the end of the year. As the year is about to draw to a close now, I believe there are probably around 2 updates left before the year's end. Now, if you guys agree with everything I say in this video, I would appreciate it if you tagged War Thunder Mobile Official's YouTube channel, so that hopefully this will reach Gaijin and they will see this and consider the suggestions I have for the end of the year. Now, I want to start off just by recapping what has happened this year. I think this has been the best year for War Thunder Mobile. 2025 brought many things that we really wanted to see in the game. Let's start off with tanks. We got an armor analyzer and an X-rayer to see the tank's internal modules. That's something I've been wanting for a long time. That's something everyone's been wanting for a long time. We got the ability to select your shell lineup in the hangar screen rather than having to go to battle to select your shells, which is something I'd asked for. It's a simple feature, but it's something that was really needed. What else did we get? We also got the ability to create custom platoons. That is something I had been wanting for a long time, and I'm glad we got that. We got it quite recently, actually, and we also have been getting some really spectacular maps in the game, such as the Alaska map, which is absolutely beautiful, and the cargo port map. Overall, I really like, especially what's been happening tanks side, because it's been making this game more like the PC version, except for mobile. This is something that I think everybody really wanted out of this game. In the beginning, it initially felt like really a tank game, tank/plane/ships game, that is sort of on the concept of War Thunder PC, and sort of just on the, basic physics and gameplay style. But now it's actually starting to feel like War Thunder, but for mobile. So that's something I really like seeing. Aviation-wise, we also got some really beautiful maps, and we've also gotten jets. We've gotten a lot more customization. That reminds me, we've also gotten the ability to create decals, which is something I had wanted. So overall, I think this game is going very well. But, so saying, to really make 2025 the best year for this game, there are 5 key things I think Gaijin should add before 2026. And I think the game has reached a point where these 5 features can and should be added. Now, I've mentioned them all before, but I've narrowed it down to 5. And I think these 5 really should be added before 2026. And like I said, I think the game is now at a position where we are ready to receive these features. Previously, maybe the game wasn't quite ready for them yet, but now I think we are definitely ready for it. Number 1 is the most important one. Even if Gaijin misses out on all the other 4, I think number 1 is by far the most important, and I think they can and should add it before the end of 2026. I think we've got 2 updates. They can maybe add it in this one or the next one, but they definitely should add it before 2026. And that is realistic battle mode for both ground and air especially. I think we really could do with that now. I think the player base is familiar enough with the game to handle realistic mode by now, and we've also got some good maps that would be perfectly suited for it, such as the Alaska map and the cargo port, which are pretty big maps. It would go very nicely, and I think this is something we really need for the more serious players like myself and many others. Arcade battles are just boring. I mean, I get bored pretty fast in arcade, and I really hate the fact that you can just spot people by markers. It's really irritating to me, and I really want realistic battle mode in this game. In fact, that's like I said, that's my priority. If they add that, I'll be extremely satisfied with that game. This game is going to be perfect. In fact, I already think this game is the best war vehicle game on the mobile platform. I think it's better than World of Tanks Blitz. I think it's better than M.T. Tank Battles. But I think they can really just secure that spot as by far the best war game ever for mobile devices if they just add realistic mode. And it's something I think we need, especially in the tanks. Also the planes, but especially in the tanks. Simply because of the fact that we have many vehicles that only really excel well in the realistic battle mode, such as the Weasel. The Weasel doesn't do that well at real arcade battles because it's spotted and just nuked immediately. You can't really play the hide and seek method that you do in the realistic battles, where you can sort of hide around corners and sneak up on enemies. There's no sneaking up on enemies in arcade battles when they can just see you appear in a marker or on the minimap. So I really think that is important. Number 2 is CAS. Now, we've already got that to some degree, the fact that you can spawn bombers and you can also spawn fighters. I think some people might disagree and say we're not ready for CAS. I personally do think we are ready for CAS, where you can take one of your planes and stick it in your tank platoon and bring it into ground realistic battles / ground arcade battles. I think we're definitely ready for that. There's a lot of people who play SPAAs extremely well, and people have gotten very familiar with how planes work in this game. I see a lot of it's become a lot harder to hit people with your bombing runs because people do understand how to watch out for the bombers now, and they do understand how to move away from the bombs. Compared to initially, it was very easy to blow people up with bombers in the game, but now it's gotten a lot harder. So I think that is something they can definitely add. Now, like I said, some people might disagree, but I personally think they can add it. Number 3 is custom rooms. I don't know what you'd call it. I think there's a specific term for it in the PC version, but I completely forgot. But basically where you can create private rooms and invite people to join your custom battles. Oh, that's what I think it's called in the PC version, is custom battles. Basically, where you can select a map, create your own private room, invite people to join it of whatever tank, vehicle, plane they choose, and recreate custom battles. I think this will be really, really nice because it will allow people to create special events, recreate, I don't know, for the people who want to create this kind of content, historic battles in these custom rooms, and also it will create the opportunity to do tournaments. I've personally, as a YouTuber, wanted to hold tournaments with some kind of prizes, but I just don't like the current way that people have previously done tournaments, which is just where they platoon together and whoever gets a higher score wins. I would actually like to do serious tournaments in custom rooms. So that's something I think they can and should add at this point as well. Number 4 is clans. Now, this isn't overly necessary, but I think it's a nice feature that they can add before the end of the year. It's not something that's vital to the game's success, but it's just something that adds that extra little bit of enjoyment to the game, especially to be able to have your own clan. I have already created a Discord server for my Red-Tailed Renegades clan, and I'd really actually like to add it to the game formally. So I'm hoping they'll add that soon as well. Number 5 is larger maps. Now, they've shown that it can be done. They've added the beautiful map of Alaska. That's probably the best map in the game currently, in my personal opinion. And also, we've got the cargo port map. That's another absolutely beautiful map. But some of the maps are just way too small and should, in fact, I am going to say must, be enlarged. Especially, like, for example, the Poland map. The Poland map is way too small. And I'm actually genuinely wonder why Gaijin did not add the other side of the lake. Why have we only got the town side of the lake and the field side of the lake? Why didn't we have the hills on the other side of the lake added? I think Gaijin, especially this map in particular, must enlarge it to include the other side of the lake on Poland as well. It's just way too small and cramped. In fact, I really don't like the map of Poland. It's especially in top tier when you're playing with MBTs. It's just way too cramped, and I really hate Poland. There's also other maps they can do it as well. I think Japan can definitely be enlarged. Japan is way too cramped. It's either temple or field or nothing. I mean, you can literally hit anyone from any point of the map, which I really hate. I really like the Japan map personally, because I think it's just a beautiful looking map, but it's just too small and it needs to be enlarged. And there's other maps as well. I think the same for American Desert needs to be enlarged slightly. And also maybe slightly Normandy Hills. Normandy Hills is actually alright, but maybe slightly. But yeah, I think that's something that needs to be done. Now, I just thought of it as I'm recording, and I want to add this as a actually 6th and 7th bonus feature. This is not something I think is vital, and it's not something I'd include in my list of 5, but it's 2 extra things I would really like to see added as well. That's replays, the ability to save replays. That will be extremely useful, especially for content creators like myself. And also, next I would like to suggest that they add the ability to go into cockpit view in planes. I really would like to see cockpit view. I don't know why they created the virtual cockpit, but not actual cockpit. I think, in the first place, they should have actually done that, added cockpit view, not virtual cockpit. I don't really know who actually plays or wants virtual cockpit. That kind of is a useless feature in my opinion. I don't really know who plays it. They did add bomber view for the bombers, so I think they could really just add cockpit view now to the planes as well. That would be really nice. Now, that is all I have to say about my list of features. Like I said, this has been the year for War Thunder Mobile. We've been getting what we really wanted to see. At least what I wanted to see, and the game is definitely on a very good path. But so saying, there are things that I still think really need to be added, preferably before the end of the year. So, if you agreed with what I said, like I said, please tag War Thunder Mobile Official's channel so that they see this video too and consider the suggestions I have made. And if you enjoyed today's video and found it interesting, please like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.